Welcome to Let's Play Bloodborne Part 7, Gilbert's Estate, and the finale. So, if you remember last episode, we saw this little door here that was open, and I told you we'd go and explore that next episode, so today we're going to explore it. This is Gilbert's Estate. He's the same Gilbert that talked to us and opened the gate for us, and gave us the flame sprayer. He used to sit by the window, sitting in his wheelchair, and he was sick. And that's all we know about Gilbert. But he said, at least I'll die a human. And then, mysteriously, his door's open, there's blood. We don't know what happened. We're gonna explore, though. And if you go to that little white light on the table, you can get the key, which opens this door right here. Allows you to explore Gilbert's estate. Gilbert? Is that you? Gilbert, what have they done to you? Let me get you out of there, man. Are you okay? Gilbert? Gilbert, is that you? Are you still in there, Gilbert? Will you hurt me if I untie you? Alright, Gilbert, I'm gonna untie these braces. Just stay calm, buddy. Promise not to hit me? I don't know about this. Should I do it, guys? Gilbert, I need you to take a few deep breaths. Gilbert. Gilbert, wait. No, Gilbert, it's me. Remember? Alright. Now it's personal. I didn't want to have to do this, Gilbert, but it's my only option. I have to put you out of your misery. It pains me to see you in this state, Gilbert. It doesn't have to end this way, Gilbert. Take control. You can do it. You're still in there, Gilbert. Don't let the blood take hold. Resist. Gilbert, no! Clearly I was not able to beat him this time around. He has a pretty big health bar, so what I did was I used the twin Bloodstone shards that I got from his yard, and I upgraded my Blades of Mercy. So now, if I go into the start menu, I can show you that they are +3. When I was fighting before, they were +2. So now I'm doing a little bit more damage, which is good. And I'm also going to put the Hunter Pistol in my left hand this time so I can shoot him. Last time I was just using the two-handed Blades of Mercy, so maybe this will give me a better chance taking out Gilbert. So we'll give it another shot here. finally did it. Gilbert has been slayed. That was a hard boss. So that is the last boss in the game, and if you activate this lantern, the game will end. So don't activate it if you still want to do some stuff, like try to kill a winter lantern or something. You're still wanting to play in the deep night. This will end the deep night, and this will end the game, and you'll see credits roll, and then you'll have the option to start a new game and to carry one weapon and one item to your next game. So for example, the Blades of Mercy +3 I'll be able to bring to the next game, and they will be +3 at the beginning of the game. And also I'll be able to bring maybe the Hunter set, like an article of clothing, or a Bloodstone chunk. I chose the Bloodstone chunk because I never used the Bloodstone chunk, and those are the most rare item in the game, I'm pretty sure. And it's easy to get a Hunter set again, so I can just get the same clothes next time. But the Bloodstone chunk, I think, there's only one in the game, and you can only get it once each playthrough, so I'm gonna carry that one over. So that means I can have 2 weapons, since I'll have 2 Bloodstone chunks when I get the next one in the next game. I'll have 2 weapons that I can +5. So I already +3'd the Hunter's Pistol and the Blades of Mercy, so if I spend, I think it's 3 twin Bloodstone shards, or 4 maybe, to upgrade the Blades of Mercy to +4, I can then use the Bloodstone chunk to upgrade it to +5, and that's the max that you can upgrade a weapon. It's +5 in this game. So the only really way to have 2 +5 weapons is to carry over the Bloodstone chunk. So what I recommend is, if you haven't used your Bloodstone chunk yet, then carry it over into your next game, and then right here it says save completed progress. You have to say yes, and then you just create a save file. It'll be yellow, the words will be yellow, and that's your save file, where if you click on it, you start a new game, and it asks you if you want to carry over some items. It'll show it right here. So now I press load game, and then I select the yellow one, and that's your end game save file, and then it gives you this message: complete save selected, keep 1 weapon and 1 item of your choosing and start anew. There are no other changes to the game. So from here you can choose any of your weapons that you upgraded. So obviously I'm choosing the Blades of Mercy, that's been my favorite, but you could choose the Blood Spear, for example, or anything you didn't get to upgrade or use that much. You can start the game with that, which is awesome. And then you can choose 1 item. So here you see like clothing, but there's also Bloodstone chunk ×1, you see that? Even Bloodstone shard ×14, you can come in with those if you wanted to. So the quantity is maintained. So say if you ended the game with 2 Bloodstone chunks and you played 2 rounds of Bloodborne PSX, you could actually bring those 2 Bloodstone chunks with you into the next game, which is pretty cool. Or, you know, if you want the beak mask or something that's hard to get, then you can choose that. But for me, I didn't get to upgrade any weapons to +5, so I was kind of curious what that would be like, so I took the Bloodstone chunk. And I will upgrade my Blades of Mercy to +5 and show a little bit of gameplay with it. It's pretty fun. And it scales with skill. That weapon scales with skill. And when you upgrade to +5, the scaling actually goes to A, so it scales a lot. I think it starts out at C, and during each upgrade it increases a little bit how much it scales with skill. It also scales with arcane. So now on my next playthrough I can upgrade my character, I can level up skill, because I was leveling up I think just health and stamina mostly, because I didn't know what quality to level up. Now I know, it's like I'm starting with a weapon that I like, and I know what it scales in, so I know every echo that I get I can dedicate to the correct attributes to make my character have very high attack points. So as you can see in the new game, Blades of Mercy +3 is there. It's in my inventory. How cool is that? And the Bloodstone chunk is as well. So everything's the same though. It's not like a new game plus where the enemies are harder to next go. Everything is the same difficulty. So it's kind of like playing the game on easy mode if you have a good weapon that's already upgraded. But it's cool because now you know the whole map, you know where the bosses are. You can kind of like play a little arcade mode where you just go fight bosses. So this is the stats they give you when you make a new game. No, it doesn't give you the choice to become different like stat profiles. This is the only one. So every time you make a new game off of that golden save file, the yellow save file, you'll have these stats. It's just a pretty even, well-rounded. Everything's like 10 or 11, 12. Okay, so this is one thing. Okay, so right now, here my Blades of Mercy are +5. And I decided I want to know what happens if you kill Eileen the Crow, or at least hit them when you meet them first, right here. And maybe there's like see if like they drop these weapons, so you can get the weapons early. I don't know what happened. I kept them alive, and then they helped me during the old Hunter Henrik battle, which I recommend, but I wanted to experiment and see what happens if you kill Eileen the Crow here.
Look at you, you sorry drunk. I'll string you up like the filthy beast you are. Can't go on like this.
So as you can see, she does not drop anything. It's just the crow badge, which you would have gotten by talking to her anyways. So it's kind of a disappointment. I don't recommend killing Eileen the Crow here, but you can make a save before that and then just battle her as many times as you want. And it's just kind of like a fun boss battle, like an arcade boss rush mode. I actually have a save where I didn't do any bosses, and I just got my weapon up to +5, so I can just go into this save and I can fight Gascoigne, I can fight Cleric Beast, I can fight the Hunter, the random Hunter, I can fight Eileen, all the fun bosses. So here, basically what's going on is like, I'm using the music box. I didn't know what would happen, and it looks like it does affect him. So apparently this music box was given to you by that little girl. That's Gascoigne's daughter. And if you play it during the boss battle, he gets all stunned, look at him, and then you can hit him. So that's a fun tip. But it does transform him into his beast form prematurely. But it affects his beast form, see? He's upset. So this is a little treat that I didn't know about until just now. I wanted to test it out. I was like, what is this music box for? You know, like, I've always wondered, what does it do? And it actually does help you with the Father Gascoigne boss battle. But the thing is, like, it makes it harder too, because he turns into a beast early. So if you use it a few times, he turns into a beast. Sometimes it's hit or miss though, because if you don't play the full song, it won't have the effect on him. So if you're like playing it and then he attacks you, or you have to dodge, and you can't get out the full music note song, like it doesn't work on him. Nothing happens, as you see. I did it and nothing happened, just a few times in a row. You have to do the full song for it to work. And even then it didn't work, just now. So, I don't know if it's really worth doing, but it is an interesting gimmick in the game. So the next thing we're going to go over before we end this Let's Play series is where to find the twin Bloodstone shards. As you can see, I'm up here by the Father Gascoigne boss battle entrance, where those boulders are rolling down, and I'm just going down the ladder. The twin Bloodstone shards, you might have already seen me pick them up in earlier episodes, but in case you forgot where they were, and now you're in the end game, or the next game, sorry, the new game, and you want to upgrade your weapon to +5, you will need twin Bloodstone shards, and there is a very limited amount of them in the game. So just go past Mr. Bacon, the piggy, Mr. Piggy, in the sewers. This is where the first two are, in this doorway. I don't know if you remember this, but if you open this door, you have to open it from this side, you can't go from the other one. There's a twin Bloodstone shard right here. And for our next twin Bloodstone shards, you have to go to the bonfire, the great bonfire, and then you're going to go through this big door here. This is where the giant broke it open before, earlier in the game. And then you'll see this little central stupa or fountain or something. And there is a normal Bloodstone shard behind these coffins here, so you can grab that one while you're here. But that's not a twin Bloodstone shard, those are just two normal Bloodstone shards, which are really easy to get. And in the Deep Night, all you have to do is kill a werewolf and you'll get one for free. And then you remember this door where these little women are like laughing and stuff, and they're like, oh, poor you. You're gonna break these coffins, drop down here, and you'll load into the caged dog area. And then if you run past all the caged dogs, you'll go to that place where Eileen the Crow, around that area, where she is. And now, it's like kind of where the blood spear is. I don't know if you remember where we found this. It's like the very top of the sewers. There is also a twin Bloodstone shard here. So if you look around, you'll find a cold blood dew, and then the blood spear is right here. I'm not going to grab it, but that's where the blood spear is. And then the top hat is back over there to the left. I'll show you what I mean. There you go, there's a top hat. And you might be like, oh, where's the twin Bloodstone shard? It looks like we got everything. But you may have forgotten something. Ah, right there. That's where the twin Bloodstone shard is. Boom. You have to smack it for it to fall down. So now you should have two. And we're going to find two more over here. So if you go to the basement, this is the Derelict Estate, and you have to go into the basement, and you have to use the basement key. So make sure you get that before you come down here. It will be locked otherwise, even if you are in a new game. Even if you beat the game before, it doesn't matter, you don't have the keys anymore. And remember, this key is up near the wolf, near the entrance of Father Gascoigne battle. So grab that first. And then come down here, and boom, there you go. Twin Bloodstone shards ×2. So now you have 4 in total. You should be able to upgrade your weapon to +4 now. And there is a Bloodstone chunk, so if you continue running deeper into the basement, this is where the one Bloodstone chunk is in the whole game. So this is not easy to find these things. Only one per playthrough. And just a reminder, there are 2 twin Bloodstone shards in Gilbert's Estate's courtyard. but you have to be in the deep night to get those. So in total there's 6 in the game, but 4 in the normal game, and only 1 chunk. So you go down this long ladder and then boom, right there. That's the Bloodstone chunk. So this little video at the end will help you if you're trying to upgrade your weapons and don't know where to find those things and don't want to watch the whole series over again. But it's been really fun, and thanks for watching Let's Play Bloodborne PSX Demake. See you next time. Bye.